All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings and citations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat Dawadah, the house of David. All right, so we're just going to go right in here into this scripture right here. All right, because as you know, you had Nero 47 talking about exiting NATO, his NATO alliance, right? His constituents. You see? So this is Daniel 2 and 41. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, it says, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So as you know, their kingdom is partly strong and partly broken, and their kingdom is about to fall. All right, it's about to fall. Right, so let's get what Yahweh Shai said, right? If Satan cast out Satan, right? In the book of Matthew, right? Matthew 12 and 26, it said, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? See, and they're divided against themselves, right? And what's going to happen is going to cause his constituents, right? Let's go to Obadiah. Right, 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in him. You see? So what's going to happen is, right, it's going to cause NATO going to shoot missiles at Babylon the Great. You see? This is what this man is. This is what this man is going to is working his way into. This is all in the spirit of power. How about Shem Yahushai? Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So there you have it, right? So let's go here real quick. Revelation 16, right? No, that's not what I want. I want Revelation 17. Revelation 17 and verse number 12. Right? It says this, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom. No, I didn't want that. Oh, right here. There you go. Verse number 16, Salakia. It says, in the 10 horns, I was wondering where it was. It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. You see? And that's talking about Babylon the Great, the whore that sitteth upon the scarlet-colored beast, right? Which is NATO. You see? And that's what's going to end up happening, man. All right? This place is going to be burned with fire. His constituents is going to shoot missiles off on this place, man. You see? The war, you're going to turn their back on this. It's over, man. It's over for Babylon the Great, man. All right? And I got a video for you, brothers. I just wanted to bring out a few scriptures, right? Just to show you, to get this warmed up, to play this video. It says, U.S. exits NATO. Trump pulls out warning and puts NATO on alert. You see? So let's play this here without further ado.
The transatlantic alliance is facing one of its most serious ruptures in decades. US President Donald Trump has now openly signaled that Washington could walk away from NATO, escalating tensions with European allies amid the ongoing Iran conflict. In a fresh interview, Trump sharply criticized NATO members for refusing to support the US military campaign against Iran, particularly efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global oil route.
I am strongly considering pulling out of NATO. It's beyond reconsideration. I always knew they were a paper tiger. They weren't there for us.
Trump also singled out key allies, including the United Kingdom, questioning their military capabilities and reinforcing Washington's growing frustration with what it sees as an unreliable alliance. The remarks mark a sharp escalation in rhetoric and come as divisions were already widening within the Western Bloc over the Iran war. US President Donald Trump has directly challenged the United Kingdom, daring it to secure oil from the Strait of Hormuz on its own, in a sharp escalation of rhetoric amid the ongoing Iran conflict. Trump's remarks come as divisions widen within Western allies over Washington's military campaign against Tehran.
All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore. Iran has been essentially decimated. Go get your own oil.
Trump's comments underscore a deepening rift across the transatlantic alliance. European powers are increasingly resisting involvement in the conflict. Spain has denied US military access, while Italy has blocked the use of key air bases, exposing fractures in what was once a unified Western front. The pressure is now being reinforced from within the Pentagon. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has questioned the strength of the NATO alliance and singled out Britain, calling on the Royal Navy to step up in reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that as well. So he's pointing out, and as far as NATO is concerned, that's a decision that will be left to the president. But I'll just say a lot has been laid bare. A lot has been shown to the world about what our allies would be willing to do for the United States of America when we undertake an effort of this scope on behalf of the free world. These are missiles that don't even range the United States of America. You don't have much of an alliance if you have countries that are not willing to stand with you when you need them. He's simply pointing that out, and ultimately it'll be his decision of what that looks like.
In London, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has drawn a firm line, rejecting any direct military role in the war, even as tensions in the Strait of Hormuz threaten global energy supplies.
So this place is done, man. Babylon the Great is done. All right, it is over. You see, because once Babylon the Great leaves NATO, right? Their constituents, they listen. A lot of the NATO in EU countries already have ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? And eventually, it's gonna go so sour to where they're gonna go. You know what? Fuck you. Talking about Babylon the Great. Fuck you, and we're gonna blow you off, and we're gonna send missiles on you. We're gonna blow you out of the water, man. Okay, that's where it's gonna happen, man. That's what's gonna happen because the scriptures say it. You see? All right. And these things are all the constituents. You got Russia, and you got India, you got all these other nations, you got all of them that's gonna come up against Babylon the Great, man. This place is out of here. Thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? Let's play the rest of this, and then we're gonna close.
That I reiterate where I stand and where this government stands. Because this is not our war. And we are not going to be dragged into it. Yes, of course, we will defend British lives and British interests in the region, and we'll stand by our allies in the Gulf region. But we're not going to get dragged in.
The United States' Iran campaign is now triggering visible fractures within the Western alliance, with
This is Obadiah 1 and 3. Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see? And that's what these devils are real proud, right? So let's go here to Proverbs 16 and 18. Okay? It says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. See that? Let's go back in here.
European nations opting for caution over confrontation. As Washington signals a reduced willingness to act as the world's security guarantor, the message from Trump is clear. America's allies may now be expected to fight and secure resources on their own.
All right, so there you have it right there. Let me get Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47 and verses number 7 and 8. It says, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so thou didst not lay these things to the heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, that thou, it says, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, and neither shall I know the loss of children. Okay? You see? So, hey, man, this place is going to be out of here, right? Let me get my last scripture in Revelation 18, right? Revelation 18 and verses number 7 and 8. It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, talking about Babylon the Great, right? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I set a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. So with that, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Ruel. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat, the Wadah, the house of David. Kwam Yasha Allah, Ababa Ball, Shalom.